Recently, a couple of years ago, you became an Anglican priest.
Yes.
Which maybe no one's ever told you this because it might be kind of rude to say it, but like from outside, you have businessman, successful businessman, and then you have Anglican priest, and both those things work together separately. But when it's one person doing both, from the outside, it just seems a bit weird. I think people can't really. It's hard to put it in a box, and I think we like putting people in boxes. Tell me about that. What's your thinking behind that at this stage of your life?
There is no thinking, there is no escape. So it's essentially that if you are a person of faith, and I am, there is no divorcing faith from the rest of you.
Okay.
So it's not about being spiritual on a Sunday or spiritual on a Friday or whichever day works for you, and then saying the rest of the week I'm not. So it's intertwined, and it was always intended to be intertwined. So what you practice in your spiritual life, you take into your work life. The ethics you practice in your religious or spiritual philosophy, you take into practice in your work life and your work philosophy. You can't separate the two.
It's just that, I guess, you're in your suit and tie on Monday and Tuesday and whatever else, and then on Sunday in a cassock. It just. I guess technically there's no issue with it at all. I mean, I'm a pastor, so obviously I have no issue with it, but
it's a case of dress code. You dress according to the occasion.
Yeah.
So I could be just as comfortable in shorts and a t-shirt on the beach.
Yeah.
And if I'm at a cocktail party, I would be appropriately dressed. If it's a black tie event, I would be appropriately dressed. If it is a church occasion, I would be appropriately dressed. It's conforming to the dress code.
Sure.
The clothes don't make the man.
Absolutely.
So there has to be consistency between Ramesh in that cassock with Ramesh in that dinner suit.
Sure.
There can't be a difference. It can't be two people. So there begins the real test.
Has your faith affected the way you look at wealth and money?
No. I think my mother has affected the way I look at wealth and money. Because your upbringing
you grew up... How would you describe your financial situation growing up?
Difficult.
Difficult, okay.
But it was never viewed as difficult. With hindsight, it is viewed as difficult. At that time, we were always having abundance.
Sure.
We were always having more than everyone else around us. And that's a strange thing, because wealth is always relative.
Sure.
I don't know if you've heard the phrase, I complained I had no shoes until I met the man with no legs.
Yeah.
And wealth is like that. Every time, wherever you are on the ladder, there's someone below you, there's someone above you. So it's a meaningless thing in that sense. You can't compare. And so in that context, we went first to a school where we were considered well off. And then we went to a school where we were like the poor relation.
Yeah.
And so it's relative, and we grow with a whole cross-section of people, from all walks of life. We've learned to respect people from all walks of life. So you asked the question about religious influence. My mother is the greatest influence on our values.
Sure.
And that's because we were virtually single-parent home, extremely strict. Our friends called her Hitler. But probably her religious values translated into ethical and moral values, which she drilled into us. So when it comes to how we look after things, how we are stewards of whatever we have. So for example, I have in my household still a covering I used as a child, which is probably 45 years old.
Because you can't afford a new one.
It's because we look after the old one.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
And so it was with everything that we had. So I had a basketball when I was 10, and that basketball survived until I was about 30, because you take care of things that you have.
Half jokingly you say, I don't want to misquote you, if I'm going abroad, I never go business class, if I'm paying for it, I never go first class. I only go to economy class, and more than that, actually Dhishan, if there was a lower price and I could just stand on the aisle or go on the footboard of a plane, if there was a footboard to a plane, I'd go on that. Is that actually reflective of, do you think that's reflective of the way you think about the way you spend money for yourself?
That's my Tamil upbringing.